First of all, I would like to thank you for entering our facility here and listening to my presentation. Now, I just want to answer a few questions that you may have before we even get started. And there will be no fees, no money exchanging hands, there will be no sign-ups, no asking of emails, unless you explicitly ask us. But I just want you to know that there are no expectations. All that I am asking you to do is listen to me, try to improve your life. I'm going to try to set you on a path of improvement. See, I'm going to speak and you're going to listen. See, that's that symbiosis that we at the Institute, it's one of our key tenements here. Now, this is our brochure, and it's a fantastic place to start to see if you would like to become part of our organization. So we see here we've got Carnage Born. Now, carnage, that's a very visceral word. Now, carnage, it is one of our key terms, key philosophies here in our program. It exists on multi-levels of our program here, tiers, if you will. And I know it sounds a little visceral, sounds a little bit too much, but I mean, do you remember the term beast mode? Now, beast, that's a word that could cause some fear. And that's what we're going to be asking you to do here today. See, also to go along with that word carnage here, we have a visual representation of carnage. Now, what we're asking you to do when you hear that word carnage, when you see this image, is to face your fear. To be ready to face these concepts, such as carnage and such as this visual here. Because if you're not ready to open up a brochure that has the word carnage on it and this image, then you're not ready to hear what we have to say. And it's about, we need people in this organization who are brave, but people who will also recognize that they have fear, but they're willing to face it, because that's the ultimate sign of bravery. Alright, let's get started. So, the first page of our brochure has a little bit of some goings on that we're working on right now, but I do have to say, we've had our eye on you. Yes, before you even stepped into this building, and you're ready. So we're just going to go ahead and skip that and get right into it. Now, a great place to start would be learning about the founder of our organization. Because how can you truly know what we stand for if you don't know the man who started this entire philosophy, if you will? So let's just dive right in so you can get to know the man, Cletus Kasady. So, Cletus Kasady, he was born on a Wednesday. Hey, today is Wednesday. That seems quite serendipitous to me. He was born in the Ravencroft Institute for the Criminally Insane. This is very important because we cannot help the circumstances that we are born into. But you know what we can do? We can change them. Alright, I want you to keep that in mind as I continue on with this presentation. See, he was born, he was choked by his umbilical cord. No one cared. No one cared about Cletus. No, not that night. And as a consequence of said infant strangling, Cletus Kasady died 19 minutes and 38 seconds after he was born. Oh, wow, gee. Wow, can you just imagine that? A dead baby. A baby who has yet to live. Just having life ripped out of him. Literally struggling for air. Think of how our lives would be impacted if this man died that night. Because we wouldn't be here right now. I certainly wouldn't be a representative for his teachings. You wouldn't be in this building right now if Cletus Kasady's story ended right here. You can change your story anytime you want. But this man, he was reborn. Okay, I want you to keep that in mind. Remember, that was on the cover of the brochure. See, Cletus Kasady, he remembers that moment. He remembers dying. And if you ask him what he saw after that 19 minutes and 38 seconds after he was reborn, he was sent to hell. That's up for your interpretation, whether you believe in the physical hell or as a metaphor, okay? The thinking is there. And see, he pictured being caged in hell. And he saw stuff. Okay, but he realized what he was doing to people. He was setting them free. And I want to ask you right now, are you free right now? Would you consider yourself free? Because you stepped into this building, I have to think, maybe you feel like your potential is being squandered. Maybe aspects of your life are hampering down. Maybe familial obligations, your job, your education. I want you to keep that in mind, because Cletus Kasady, his goal is to set people free. And I have a sneaking suspicion that you also want to be free, but this would not be the first or last rebirth of our founder, Cletus Kasady. See, his second rebirth was inside the walls of a prison. Okay. Again, anytime, you can change your life at any time. Your past means nothing. Okay. And he became an agent of the void. See, that day he learned the truth. He was reborn yet again. I'm asking you, are you familiar with Greek mythology? Are you familiar with the story of the phoenix? Because this is what Cletus Kasady is constantly doing. He is dying. He is being reborn and flourishing. Once he became an agent of the void, he learned the truth. He learned what this life is about. He learned that there is no right, there is no wrong, there's no black and white. See, this world is cruel. And people are always wanting to tell you that there's only black and white, there's only right and wrong, but that, gee, you know what, I almost said that's wrong. Oh, hey. No. There is only life and death. Blood and the abyss. Blood is the fluid of life. It's coursing through our very veins right now. And the abyss where I suspect that you might find yourself right now, because you're listening to me give this presentation. He learned that the universe is black and it is red, and that the truth is chaos. I want you to think about those. I want you to really think about those before we continue on to the next page, because the next page is another visual representation of one of Cletus Kasady's rebirths. Alright? Just get mentally prepared for it. I want you to face these fears, okay? You already stepped into this building. You already crossed that threshold. You already sat down in that chair. So what's one more step? One more step to your rebirth. Okay, are you ready? This image. God is carnage. This is what Cletus Kasady felt like his rebirth would look like to the outside world. He's being consumed by the carnage. He's being consumed by this red fluid. You know what? Because blood is the fluid of life. Blood is red. But it also encompasses desire, passion, strength, overcoming fear. That's what carnage is about. That is what it is about. Now, these are some photographs of one of our many meetings, but, you know, we've talked about how Cletus, you know his history now. You know this man. He was born in an institution. He went to prison, where he was reborn for the second time. Just because this man is embracing the carnage inside of him doesn't mean that carnage is disorganized. Look at this. We all dress alike. We participate in group activities. He learned the importance of rituals in the Institute, in prison. Cletus Kasady, he can take from all of his experiences, whether they are positive or negative. That is why he is so... I get choked up thinking about it. I mean, the man has impacted my life. So we dress alike. We participate in these rituals. We are brothers and sisters of this man. He is bringing us together, because I suspect that you feel lonely. But we are your family now. If you're ready to take that step with me, if you're willing to embrace the carnage inside of you, it's in there. You just have to unleash it. You have to be reborn, but you have to want it. You have to desire it. You have to. And you know, we're in this forever and together. Because think about this. Cletus, he is constantly being reborn. And if you're constantly being reborn, just like the phoenix, then you will elude death. Death being one of the certainties of life. But Cletus, he's found a way to circumvent that through his own desire to carve his own path. And he's willing to teach others. But you have to be susceptible to his message. You have to follow his teachings if you also want to be together in the void. Together. Forever. Forever, because we can see past death. Death is not a constraint on us in this institute. Ooh, think of how much you could accomplish if you didn't have to worry about dying. If you didn't have to fear death or the afterlife. But you have to do it with us. You have to do it together, forever, in the void. But I hate to tell you this. I know you're feeling it right now. You're feeling it. You're feeling righteous, brother. I know that you're feeling it. But our Savior, Cletus, he was taken away from us. He was on a mission, far away. We didn't know where he was. Okay, but eventually he would learn to conquer the abyss. Because the abyss is not death. Okay, this man, he is always being reborn. Why? Because he wills it. No circumstance, no matter how treacherous, no matter how void of hope it seems, he will find a way. And we can instill that passion, that zest in you through him. Darkness is not the end. And eventually he was returned to us. He was returned from the abyss back to us, because we were ready then. We were worthy of his teachings. He deemed us ready for his return. But you know what happened when he came back? I think probably because you didn't believe hard enough in him, brother. I think what happened, you weren't ready for the message. So what happened to Cletus? He died yet again. But as you know, this is not the end for Cletus. You know it isn't, because this man is reborn. He is the Phoenix incarnate. You can't keep a man down that is this powerful, embracing the carnage. You get that, brother? I feel like you're getting it now. Oh, but we have enemies. We have them. When you're a man as great as Cletus Kasady, when you are a man with such power, the power to defeat death again and again and again, you will have enemies. And we need to protect him from these enemies. We have to protect our leader. We have to protect Carnage, our God. God is Carnage. Carnage is God. Carnage is Cletus Kasady. We have to protect this man, no matter the cost. You could lose your life before you learn how to be reborn. But it will be worth it, because you will be serving a greater purpose. Because if you die and you don't come back, that just is more chance, more time for Cletus to reach out to others. Because if you embrace the carnage, that means more people out there are willing to listen to the message. Your life will not be in vain if you go down. But when he returned to us, he was not the same. He was not the great man that we know he is today. We had to make him whole. We had to save this man from this. We had to provide him with the codex. Now, normally I don't talk about the codex because you're not on that level right now, but brother, I am feeling it. I want to hear you testify together, forever, forever, together. I want to hear it. I want to hear your proclamation. I want to hear your testimony, brother. Are you ready? Are you ready to embrace the codex? Are you ready to change your life? Are you ready to change your DNA? Are you ready to embrace the symbiosis?